Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Charlestown Races here on Friday. It is the 22nd of August, 2025. Go look at the stakes action on the program from Charlestown. But before I get on to that, remember, please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Get 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And I mean it, around the world. Let's look at the stakes action. We're going to look at races 8, 9, 10, and the featured 11th race is Charlestown Classic. The 8th race from Charlestown, it is the Pink Ribbon Stakes. It's going for a purse $250,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 4 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track. Gonna go take the number 2 horse Veva as a top selection. We're gonna go 2-3 and the exacta. 2-3 exacta, top selection 2 horse Veva. This 5-year-old mare by Gunrunner. Cherie DeVoe trains. Ira Ortiz Jr. comes in to ride this horse. They ran the horse most recently in the Grade 2 Chicago Stakes at Churchill, 7 furlongs, 21st of June, and it went by 3/4 of a length that day. And he basically stalked. He was a little bit wide, but she came home clear. That was a very good confidence builder. Coming back to Charlestown, where this horse ran in this at this fixture 2 years ago, quite impressively. I think she could get the job done and improve off of that run. Two back in the lot, train around, or excuse me, the Derby City Distaff at Churchill. 7 furlong slops, 3rd of May, first start since November. She wasn't comfortable. She finished 7th by 23 3/4 lengths, and she just never really got into it. It wasn't her day to win. Prior to that, in last year's British Cup Filly Mare Sprint, finishing 8th by 7.5 lengths. Again, she really just wasn't comfortable that day, but she had a great, mid-season campaign. She won the Madison, or placed in the Madison earlier on in the campaign, won the Derby City Distaff, came back to win the Chicago Stakes, and then came back to run a decent third as the even money favorite in the Ballerina last summer. But then her form just kind of fell back. She needed the race first off the bench, coming here second off the bench, back to Charlestown, where she was the winner of the Charlestown Classic, or Charlestown Oaks in 2023. I think she could find a trip to win. Let's use her on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 8th now from Charlestown, it is the Pink Ribbon. Going to take the 2 horse Veva. We're going to go 2-3 in the exacta. The 9th race from Charlestown now, it's the Robert Hilton Memorial. It's going for a purse of $500,000, race for 3-year-olds here. 9 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track. Gonna take the 3 horse Niaquis as a top selection. Gonna go 3-7-8-6 in the superfecta. 3-7-8-6 super. Top selection 3 horse Niaquis. This 3-year-old called by Neolithic here. Safi Joseph Jr. trains. Ira Jr. gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in the Jersey Shore Stakes, Monmouth, 6 furlongs, 18th of July. He only had 3 other rivals that day, but he won it on the front end, 1/4 horse out of the gate, setting his own fractions, 109 and 2, winning by 3 3/4 lengths. That was an impressive run. He's refreshing to a speed favoring track, drawn very well here today. I think he could find a trip to win. He ran against tough competition too back in the Woody Stevens at Saratoga. 7 furlongs on a Harrow Muddy going 7th of June. Finished 9th by 6.5 lengths. Patch Adams really freaked that day. Madacat Road finished second, had a decent race. This horse was just wide, just never getting into it. And then they tried the horse routing. He's just not a router. He ran 13th in the Derby, where he set the pace early on, but then just completely crumbled. Finished third in the Florida Derby, where his 4 horse get good position, but then he just hit the wall at the top of the lane. And then the Fountain of Youth, he finished third. If you look over his races against the sprinting quality horses, that's where he's really shown up a lot. Back at it again today at 7-2. I think he can find a trip. I think the 7 horse Owen Almighty, first start back from the Derby, can win also. In the Derby, yeah, he outran his 40-1 odds that day. He ran a lot better than I expected. He finished 5th by 9 lengths. He didn't go down. He yielded before the wire, but mile and a quarter, thought it was a little bit too long. Maybe mile and a eighth, he might be in his wheelhouse. But back to 7 furlongs here today, which is definitely in his wheelhouse. I think he could find the trip to win. He doesn't keep a straight course sometimes, which cost him. He in the Pasco Stakes at Tampa over the winter. He won by length with Irad up. But then he just, came in the lane, which caused him. They placed him second or fifth through his qualification. Came back to run in the Sam F. Davis, where he ran on okay second place finish, where he just got out kicked late, and then won the Tampa Bay Derby with his own fractions that day. But I do like him back from in trip, training from the gate of Churchill. 5-2, let's use him on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Charlestown, it's the Robert Hilton Memorial. Going to take the 3 horse Niaquis, give kudos to the 7 horse Owen Almighty, 3-7-8-6 super, 3-7 in the multi race. The 10th event now from Charlestown. It is Charlestown Oaks. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $750,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. Field of 10 horses entered to go 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track, the traditional trip ground here, it seems. That had 4.5 furlongs was my top selection. I'm going to go with the 6 horse, Lova Morgan. I'm going to go 6-7-1-10 in the superfecta. 6-7-1-10 super, top selection 7 horse, Lova Morgan. This is a 3-year-old filly by Union Rags. Happy Joseph Jr. trains. Tyler Gaffalione gets the mount. Blinkers on today. The horse's most recent outing came in the Azalea Stakes at Goldstream, 7 furlongs, 12th of July. And she finished fourth by 5 lengths. The stablemate Andrea really came home clear and won quite impressively in the front end. But this horse, she sat back early, had a little troubled ground that day. But I think coming here back to 7 furlongs, being more into it with the blinkers on, she could show something. She was a little bit more into the game face at Gulfstream, going 6.5 on the 31st of May, and she won by 2 3/4 lengths that day from a tracking trip. She's a little bit wide, but she came home clear. That was a very good run, first time winner's first time up in class. Prior to in the championship meet, a Gulfstream mile 16th in the dirt in the maiden specialweight, won by 3 lengths as an upstart at 9-2. She stalked all the way around the race course, and she circled the field late. A very good clear victory there on debut, going 3/4 at Gulfstream in the maiden specialweight. Finished fifth by 6 1/4 lengths that day, where she just kind of hit the wall. She looks like she's a bit of a late development horse, but when she's finally got good running, she's really done well. She's training well. Gulfstream 8 to 1. I'm going to give her a shot as an upsetter. I think the 7 horse Baca with the twist for Luis Saez and Philly D'Amato, who and also they tried her on the turf last time out on the P patch at Ellis, where she just never really got going. Her place prior to that in the Leslie's Lady at Churchill wasn't bad at all, and her Tyrrell form wasn't bad at all either. Back here to the Midwest, training well at Churchill, 2 to 1. I'll give her a shot on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Charlestown, it's the Charlestown Oaks. Going to take the 6 horse Love Morgan. Give kudos to 7 horse Baca with the twist. 6 7 110 Super. 6 7 in the multi race. The 11th race from Charlestown. Now it's a Charlestown Classic. It's a Grade 2 event going for $1 million purse. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going 1,800 meters or a mile eighth in this year's Charlestown Classic. Gonna take a shot with the 8 horse Ghouls Gold. Gonna go 8 7 4 5 in the superfecta. 8745 Super, top selection 8 horse equals gold. This 4 called by Gold Sense. Kenneth McPeak trains. Brian Hernandez Jr. gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently, the Cornhusker Handicap at Prairie, mile eighth on the 5th of July, and he finished third by a half a length that day, and he was with them early on. He just couldn't get there late as a 60 cents a dollar favorite. The winner just outgave them, but he cut down the race course well. I didn't think it was a half bad race. Coming here to Charlestown for the first time, gonna try and save some ground, but I think he could close up into this race and get the job done here today. Thought he ran terrifically in optional 80 at Churchill mile 8th, 17th of May. Won about half a length. He stalked all around the race course. When Brian said go, he came home clear. That was a good run, second off the bench. First off the bench wasn't a success. He needed the race at Keeneland, mile 8th and optional 80, finishing third by 7 1/4 lengths. Just a touch. Decent horse, really took off clear. This horse is wide, and he just couldn't, he yielded before the wire. 2-year-old form last year wasn't bad at all. Actually won the Smarty Jones at Parks nearly a year ago to the day at Parks. And then he ran last year's Jim Dandy where he didn't do a lot of running, but had a great place beyond batting down in last year's Ohio Derby. Refreshing here, training well in the Oklahoma at Saratoga. Give him a shot on the ticket. I think the 7 horse Willie D's for Luis Saez and Mike Maker, who also was a quite impressive winner of the Schaefer Memorial at Indiana over the mile 70 back in early July, winning by 4.5 lengths, everything his own way on a very lightning fast course. He came home clear. Prior to that Saratoga Belmont Stakes week over the mile 8th and optional 100, winning by 2 1/4 lengths. Again, everything his own way, kind of yielded before the wire, but he still won quite nicely. As I say, yielded before the wire. The pace was kind of melting down late, but he still came home clear. Sometimes you get tired Saratoga going 2 turns. But he stepped up in some class here today. It's not the world's deepest race. 3 to 1. I'll give him a shot here on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the 11th from Charlestown, now it's the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, the $1 million Charlestown Classic. I'm gonna go with the 8 horse Gold's Gold. Give kudos to 7 horse Willie D's. 8745 Super, 8-7 in the multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5. Good luck, everybody.